Yet we continue, same paragraph. So God said, Nathan said that God will spare your life, yet he should be punished because he had he should be punished because he had given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme. Okay, this occasion has been proved by enemies of God from David's day until the present time. Skeptics have assailed Christianity and ridiculed the Bible because David gave them the occasion. He gave them the occasion. They bring up two things: the case of David, his sin in the case of Uriah and Bathsheba, his polygamy, and then assert that David is called a man after God's own heart. And if the Bible record is correct, God justified David in his crime. So here they're saying that David was a man after God's own heart, but yet he did this crime and God justified David in his crime. That's not the case. We further on read, I was shown that it was when David was pure and walking in the counsel of God that God called him a man after his own heart. But when David departed from God and stained his virtuous character by his crimes, he was no longer a man after God's own heart. God did not in the least degree justify him in his sins, but sent Nathan his prophet with dreadful denunciations to David because he had transgressed the commandment of God. Remember, he transgressed 3 commandments: adultery, murder, and covetousness to thy neighbor. Okay, God shows his displeasure at David's having a plurality of wives. So David had more than one wife. He had a plural of wives, by visiting him with judgments and permitting evils to arise against him from his own house. The terrible calamity God permitted to come upon David, who for his integrity was once called a man after God's own heart, is evidence to after generations that God would not justify anyone. God would not justify anyone in transgressing in his commandments, but he would surely punish the guilty. However righteous and favored of God they might once have been, or they might have followed in the Lord in purity of heart, when righteous turns away from their righteousness and do evil, their past righteousness will not save them from the wrath of the just and holy God. So brothers and sisters, it's important to understand that if anyone brings to you the occasion of David saying that, David was a man after God's own heart and God justified him, God did not justify his crimes. God brought grievous punishments to him. We're going to see in the next study what one of those punishments were. But God denounced his crimes and told Nathan to go unto David and tell him of his dreadful sins. And David repented bitterly. He bitterly cried. He fasted and prayed, and he wrote the Psalms as